everyone. Today I will be talking about the lesson plan template provided by Alliant University's California School of Education. And I really have not seen any lesson plan templates before this one, so this is my first experience analyzing a lesson plan template. So I had to do some research, and I found a lesson plan template from the University of New Hampshire to compare it with. So the one that Alliant provides includes about six sections that are in sequential order. They kind of start with the opening of the class, the middle of the class, and then it ends with uh, guided practice as well as individual practice. Whereas the other plan breaks down different classroom activities based on introductory, intermediate, or advanced techniques. So that's one difference that I noticed. The Alliant lesson plan kind of takes you through a class in chronological order, whereas the other one just talks about different classroom activities and how you can implement them based on where you're at, like introductory level, intermediate, or advanced level. Um, the other lesson plan from the University of New Hampshire also doesn't include the teacher performance expectations, the TPEs, that the Alliant University lesson plan does include. Um, the Alliant University lesson plan also talks about constructing a healthy learning environment, making sure the students feel comfortable where they're learning, making sure they have access to all basic needs. Um, Whereas the University of New Hampshire's lesson template, they kind of do something similar, but they kind of talk about it as classroom equity, equity in the classroom, more so that students have all the equal access to succeed in the classroom, not just feeling comfortable, but what tools they specifically need to all have access to in order to have success. Uh, so now talking about three things that I would find challenging based on the Alliant University's lesson plan template. Um, let's say one of the first things that I would find challenging is communicating the importance of the lesson. I currently work at a continuation high school with special needs students, and a lot of the students I work with hate math and science, and they always ask me, why am I doing this? I really don't see this helping me out in the future. Uh, I always try my best to encourage them and let them know that these are the requirements for high school. If you want to pursue something in college or a high-paying job, you will need math and science, but that alone just doesn't really motivate them enough, or it doesn't. At times, it doesn't. It's not enough for them to feel like what they're learning is meaningful to them. Uh, they just want to just get on with the credit and move on. Where I work, it's called what we do is credits. So it's packets every week that they have to turn in, and yeah, a lot of students just want to get the packet done, get the credit done, and move on to the next. So that's why it's kind of hard to focus on the importance of the lesson if all they're focused on is that number of credits they have left. Uh, and it's also difficult for me sometimes to re-engage students who are disinterested or falling behind. Uh, I try to explain to them the long-term goals of graduating, that we want to see you cap and gown, we want to see you walking out of here. But when it comes to explaining the importance of a particular lesson, like a lesson in like trigonometry or something like that, that right there is where it's been more difficult for me in my experience as a substitute teacher. Um, Two other things that I see myself finding difficult are ensuring that students are actively taking in the information during their independent work. A lot of the times I work with students and I go over examples with them, I walk them through step by step, and then I have them do some practice on their own. And then I notice, oh, they actually do get it. They can do it on their own. But when I let them go home and try some work on their own without my presence, that's where I notice they're not able to actually do it independently, whether that's that they need the presence of a teacher or educator to help them feel comfortable, or that they're simply not absorbing the material enough to where they can complete it fully independent. So that's something I also see myself struggling with because I currently do struggle with it. And then one last thing I see myself struggling with in the Alliance lesson plan template, sorry, would be providing opportunities for extension and extra practice. I currently have a busy schedule at work. Um, in terms of appointments with students, we are more of a one-on-one school, meaning that our day is limited to 1 hour appointments with each student, and I currently work with about 25 students. So even if I offer students like tutoring and I make sure they attend their appointments with their paraprofessionals, they at the end of the day they don't feel as comfortable with me as with a different adult, a different teacher, different support. So having limited time to work with them, an extra meeting, and the fact that they don't feel very comfortable with new people or people they work with very little is what I struggle with currently at my job. And I see myself still struggling with it as I continue in this field of special education and when I actually become an intern teacher. But as a special education substitute teacher at the moment, that's what I've been struggling with. And yeah, thank you.